also, but one of the things that Jack's hitting on is the why. Why do we do this? Because we all, and why are we all involved as elected officials? Why do we want to be elected officials? It's the legitimacy of the process, and it's developing credibility and trust. So that's what this diagram is about. That's what these critical priorities about. And I think if you build that trust and that legitimacy and a robust process, you get buy-in from your community. If you get buy-in from your community, you can accomplish a great deal. And that's what we're seeing in Clarksville.
Right. Andy?
Just talking about the process. As you can see, there are a lot of leaves up here. And I'm sure when you guys get together and you talk with your councils, it's sometimes hard to prioritize. You'll narrow it down and maybe you got 8, 10, 12 things that are all priorities, and you'll find at the end of the year it was hard to make your budget stretch to make that fit. So something we did several years ago is, and this was Diane's idea, and I think it's worked tremendously, is she said, I want you to pick 2 or 3 things that are critical priorities. And the criteria for critical priority is something that if we don't take immediate and forceful action, it might be too late and there will be fundamental changes to your community. And for us, we settled on transportation because we felt like our traffic and congestion was really starting to harm our small town character. Our residents were reacting, our visitors were reacting. Energy, because we felt like we had concerns about climate change, we had concerns about our water quality, our air quality, our soils, and so we wanted to convert to renewable energy. And then housing, because we believe that the people that work in our community and play in our community should live there, or at least a good proportion of them, and we were pricing everybody out of town. And we felt if we settled on those 3 things as our primary critical goals, we'd make some progress. And after a couple of years and dedicate our budget and our energy, I think probably our entire town can repeat those critical priorities, and we've seen great alignment and great support for them. So I encourage you as you go through these processes, it's really hard, but try to pick a few things that you focus on.
Yeah?
As we were going through this process, one of the things that we really struggled with was because we are a resort-based economy, and we love having our international visitors. The good news is we have a lot of international visitors, and we have a lot of international visitors because it puts a challenge. And sometimes our residents have felt like maybe the city was putting more value on the needs of our visitors rather than our residents. And so one thing that I was really excited about as we did this was that we have a branch that really looks at how we become a very inclusive and healthy community, recognizing the fact that our residents have very specific needs and how can we help meet those needs. And then also in terms of inclusiveness, nearly 25% of our population is Hispanic. And so we're looking very closely at how can we be a more inclusive community so that all of our residents feel very welcome, very at home, and feel like they can thrive.
Becca?
Well, I would say one of the other great parts about having your critical priorities and priorities outlined is that they become filters for every project you do. Every project you do is going to affect transportation and housing in your community or energy, and so that's one of the things that has really become very apparent to us as we have our critical priorities, and everything that comes to us, we're able to use these filters to say how it's going to affect the long-term outcome in these other areas. And so everything's very truly connected in your communities, and I'm sure everyone's well and aware, but it does help provide a little bit of a roadmap as you make decisions.
Thanks, Becca. I think that Becca's last comment, the roadmap, the notion that it's not just a list of responsibilities and duties or a Gantt chart schedule. This is something that I think helps us hold on to this information. And I think the graphic, whatever it is, could be a wagon wheel, could be an animal, whatever the graphic is, I think it's important to have something that helps organize that process so that your long-term strategic plans are going in the right direction. So a lot of aspects. This is evolving. I'm sure it will change. At some point, perhaps even our core values change. But the notion is that it's organic, and evolving, and I'm sure that we'll look at it every year. I want to thank the council, and thank Diane and Matt for being who they are and supporting this endeavor. Diane, Matt?
The one opportunity I will take as a staff member and is thankful that council was willing to focus. And then they did
That's a rarity.
something. Then they did something that, frankly, I nearly passed out. They set goals. They set we've right? Because we've all heard the statement, what gets measured gets managed. So the first goal they set was, they said, we're going to be net zero as a city by 2022, and then as a community by 2032. And so then I nearly passed out. I'll tell you though, we're going to hit that goal, and that's not like made up. We are well on our way to our municipal goal as well as to our community goal. And the other piece is that, led by Becca, they set a goal of 800 new affordable units in the next 10 years. We don't have much land, but we've got about 30 or so under construction right now between Park City Heights, 8 units at 1450, 1460 Park Ave, and another 13 units at Woodside Park. And council's given us direction on an additional 55 units right below the ski resort on property that the city owns. And then another somewhere between, we don't know the number, 50 and 80 units. And these are all right in town and affordable units. And had they not set these goals, we wouldn't be on this track.
And we spot a limit to a private developer.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh yeah, you guys did that one too.
And I realize that our community is different than a lot of others. And the goals and expectations, they're going to be your own. They've got to come from your process, your connection to your communities, and your fundamental core analysis. I'll be glad to take questions, and I'll deflect them all to the council.
Yeah,
Or brilliant, make me look good.
I think it's a simple question, has to do with your affordable. You brought that up. I'm just curious, what is affordable in Park City?
It's a percentage of the average median income, and we shoot for 80% in Park City for our attainable units, and we shoot for between 60 and 80% for our affordable, and then below 60% are our affordable rental. And we don't have much of any of it at this point, so we're just sort of building without figuring out, what we're targeting at this point, because we have such a dearth that anything we put in is going to be snapped up, and then we're going to be developing those target audiences and the different styles of housing to address the needs as we kind of go along. We're building that model as we move.
They said 800 units was for us when we had a study done. 800 units was for us to maintain status quo with 15% of our workforce living in town.
And there are 400 affordable units that are already built, so the 800 is on top of the 400 that already exist.
And the median home price in Park City is $1.8 million. Yeah.
But in dollars, I think we're shooting for about 150 to 350.
We could talk about housing all night. I hope we can do that. But I want to say thank you. This is probably I don't know how many more times we're going to get together. I've enjoyed the few times that we have. I think it's fundamental that we have these interactions and relationships, because I think it's ultimately it's something we all learn from. So find some value in this. So thank you. Run right by the questions.
Stand behind the podium because I already spilled dinner. I thought a little bit, I talked to Councilman Farrell, and I didn't really talk to the rest of our councils. We don't have quite the presentation, but I thought there was some things that we could discuss for a moment that would be beneficial to all of us. And in the past, and even up till now, the most useful interaction we have is we can blame each other for our own problems. And I can blame Tom for my wage issues. I can with Brent and Diane for housing issues. But I think one of the things that this type of a gathering brings out, an opportunity for us, is to bridge those gaps to get each other's perspective instead of our own perspective. And I thought quite a bit about this tonight and what I felt would be important. The dynamics of our region, when we take all of our jurisdictions into play here, is maybe more significant than we realize in the scheme of the state of Utah. For instance, when we look at economics, we look at growth and education, other things, we all have different challenges, but as a region, we're pretty unique, and I would dare say pretty important. Not boastingly, but important in that it's significant to the well-being of not only our communities but the state of Utah. And so as years passed, we've interacted. If your history goes back into the area, my grandfather worked in the mines, great aunt was in Camas, dad was born in Midway, and so there was those types of interactions, but not really to the extent we look at it now. We all kind of functioned in our own little areas and kind of got along to the best of our ability. There's a lot of dynamics going on now, and we've seen some of that tonight. Caroline presented a pretty eye-opening transportation issue that over on our side, we're not quite to that significance. We have the bypass, the Heber bypass we're working on with Heber City. It's a joint effort. We just recently were able to secure some funding to get a more definitive alignment because we've been acquiring property for that. Even though that project is several years in the future, we're trying very hard to be proactive for that. I think that's been one of our strong suits between Heber and Wasatch County, is that in years past we have picked a few things, mainly infrastructure based, looking at our water and sewer and other things, and I think we've planned fairly well with that. And we're kind of dealing with that, and when you look at the type of growth that was shown on there, we're kind of shooting for daylight a little bit over here because there's so much pressure. And so the opportunity to interact and work with each other gets a little bit limited. All of us, I think, recognize now that as each of us as a jurisdiction make a decision, we now affect each other to one degree, adversity or positivity. And we may not recognize what those are. Wasatch County may be merely going along in Jordanelle planning and not recognize some negative impacts maybe coming to Park City or Summit County, and vice versa. We all have these interactions, but we all connect at some place. And so I guess my hope tonight was for each of us to try and take these perspectives as we analyze and work on things and try to come to a better understanding. Now, Tom and Diane, Mark and myself, we get together a little more often than all of us get together. And from an administrative standpoint, we're able to discuss a lot of these issues. But the political side of this, I think, is much more significant. As Mayor Thomas was talking about strategic planning and other things, those are up the chain somewhat from administrative duties and need you as political people to work. Diane's really smart, but if she doesn't have political backing, it isn't going to get very far. And we're all that way to a degree. And so tonight, I'm going to give you a brief update of things going around in the county. But right now, many of us are focused on adverse effects that we're getting from each other to a degree. As we've developed in the Jordanelle, that's contributed to a transit issue, which Summit County is going to, with Park City, is addressing a little bit. We're going to have some bus stops at, I don't know if it's going to Hideout or Todd Hall, but along that route that'll benefit those communities. Many of them work in the Park City area. We can Salt Lake. Not a lot of them working here, but it's a Wasatch County project. And so I would like to get us all to be able to somehow put together, from a strategic planning standpoint, a way to plan to work together a little better. And so that we could get each other's perspectives. And as we do this, it's not that I think we should control each other's jurisdictions. It's that we can communicate what's going on to the best of our ability so that we can all then work together on the positive aspects. That doesn't mean we always agree, because we won't. I think Wasatch County is trying very hard to work through its issues. It's been planning for about 20 years. When we look at the Jordanelle, that would be at the top of the list. And everybody here is very familiar with that and the potential of the build out of the Jordanelle. And for many years, we've all sat back and listened to the promises of developers and other people. There's potential, there's density, design for the area. None of it's really happened. But we're now on the verge of more happening, significant more. And we've seen in the Browns Canyon area, we've seen a significant growth area there. And we're now going to see the Mayflower area. The Mayflower property is now in the process of changing hands, and it's actually going to be into an entity's hands that actually develops instead of just a land holding company. And so we have some big potentials. We may, as a jurisdiction, or may not recognize significant impacts. I think Wasatch County kind of recognizes it from our perspective, but the spillover is going to be significant. Right now, I'm going to start over the Browns Canyon area. We have a hotel that is planned there that involves a hockey component, an ice rink component, that they're working on the groundwork right now. We expect to see plans into our building department, and I'll say within the next month, maybe sooner, maybe a little longer. That's significant. We have MIDA over in the Mayflower area, this past legislative process. The MIDA group went and was able to tap into the UDOT, I don't know what they call it, it's a fund they used for financing of road projects, but they made MIDA eligible to tap into that fund with the purpose of potentially putting in portals on Highway 40 to push traffic, both pedestrian and vehicular traffic, underneath Highway 40. That's an interesting corridor because we have a lot of planned density in that area with one on-ramp and one off-ramp. And so there has to be a lot of planning there. Wasatch County, I hope, took initiative. We hired a traffic planner last year, and we went through the whole project of looking at what could be. And I think we're a little ahead of the game with that respect. But working with UDOT and landowners, we have to resolve those challenges. Jordanelle Parkway, which will come out to 248 at Browns Canyon, there's another one. So the Jordanelle itself, I think we will see some pretty significant growth. Wasatch County is seeing growth in a lot of places, though. Strawberry Valley, we're seeing a lot of growth and pressure there. In incorporated areas in this valley, we're seeing a lot in Heber and Midway and Waldburg and Charleston are all experiencing their own growing pains, Daniel, all of our towns. So a little bit, we're just trying to get a breath of air, but we've had pretty good planning in the past. The strategic planning of where we're going, we need to work more on. And I think the advantage I see of working a little more as a group is that if our strategics are aligned a little better, maybe we'll come out at the end a little better. I know it's a very general statement, but I told you I didn't want to sound preachy, but I guess I'm being idealistic to a degree. And I hope my council doesn't fire me for this, but I think all of us would benefit from that. And I see an effort from my council to do this very thing. We're trying to kind of pull it together to align strategies for the different communities, and it's hard. It's really hard. But my hope is that we can continue to do this and continue to try and not just socialize, but just value socializing, because we learn to understand each other a little bit better, know each other a little bit better. And it's been invaluable for me to work with Mark and Tom and Diane to understand that a little bit better. So I don't really have anything else planned for a presentation. I don't know if any of my council has anything in particular they would like to add to this or deny or anything like that. But I take any questions. If you do have specific questions on any of the development, I'm happy to answer the best of my ability. But for me personally, it's like I'm looking at the headline of a freight train coming at me. And so I'm trying to handle that.
I wonder, Mike, if it might be useful to our guests here to kind of give some other ballpark. When you talk about Jordanelle and some of these areas, what kind of housing units, what kind of population, and how much of that might be feeding up Highway 40? Do we have any numbers, even a ballpark?
I can give you ballparks. If we look at the North Village area, that could be in the 4,000 to 5,000 range. The Jordanelle could be in the 9,000 to 12,000 range. All of that is dependent upon what I call reality. Everybody that comes in thinks they can build if they're in a developing economy. This is a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing of what they can put. But when you get to the actual nuts and bolts of reality and the physical constraints of properties and traffics and other things, those numbers generally don't pan out. They're generally less. And so when I give you those numbers, they're probably on the lower end.
Well, 10 to 20,000?
Potentially. And from a build-out lifespan, it could be 15 to 25 years, depending on how people build. Development is an ebb and tide. Everybody knows that. And if we were looking at this back in 2007, we could say, another 10 years and we're going to be done. And then 2008 comes and we're barely caught up to where we were in 2008 now, almost 10 years later. So it just depends a lot on what's going to happen.
I think it'd be useful for us to get together, discuss where the Jordanelle Parkway line is going to look like, and come up with some joint planning between Wasatch County and Summit County and Park City on what might be done to the 40, 240 Jordanelle Parkway area. Is there something we can do
Absolutely.
to jointly plan and go to the state and say, UDOT say, we need to redo this intersection?
And I think that's the type of idea I'm thinking of, is that as jurisdictions, there's certainly some things that are critical to you. And if us as administrators know what those are, then we can arrange to do exactly that. If we need to look at those interchanges and intersections and so forth.
If you're planning that much growth there, I think it's time for us to
we
start
look
putting
at
our
it.
heads together and see what we can do.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. Anything else? Andy, you look like you want to say something.
No, just scratching my head.
Well,
So are you going to propose that maybe we meet twice a year?
well,
Once a year?
and that, I would propose it as often as we need. But I think the direction I'm heading is that we be a little more strategic in how we meet and bring together the concerns of the group. Well, and I'm not discounting what we've done tonight or in the past. I think it's all incredibly valuable. I'm just saying maybe in ratcheting up a notch, we come together as a region a little more focused on what we as these separate groups can do together. That's I think what I'm trying to say. And if it takes twice a year, if it takes 3 times a year, whatever that is, great. I'm all for it. And you'll probably get tired of all this at some point. But I think all of us together face many, many challenges right now. I just like to close saying that, again, I believe so strongly that our region is a critical component of this state. It is not realized. And I think together, I'll say it this way, I think we can do a better job, because you can always do a better job. But I think together we can do a better job than we can separately. But anyways, Ron?
I just comment, it kind of seems like a family reunion. The first hour, you go even talk to the cousins after 2 or 3 hours you may do, so maybe a day long or an afternoon at least, with breakouts and discussions and
If we need a retreat, I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities that we can do, and I think that's going to be.
probably our cousins.
Well, I guess what I'm saying.
We've had all we want of this guy. We're not going to have to deal with you much longer. Well, maybe you don't know.
I think it's a great idea, but I think it needs to be driven from our political side a little bit more than from the administrative side. As administrators, we definitely are focused on our specific challenges to us, which may not be in line specifically with what's needed from the political side, and we need that. We really need that. And I think, Mayor Thomas, you came together pretty good to pull something off like this. And we need to do that as a group. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
In a few minutes, you're going to see the reason why we've got such great Heber City staff. We have two groups that will present a little presentation on affordable housing. And also Tony Kohler from our planning department. We do have great staff members, administration just to work with. I'm grateful for them. These are some issues that we've talked about in our retreat in January and have been kind of kept in front of the council. We met with the county a week or so, a couple weeks ago, and talked some issues. So I feel like the relationship all of us are building and working towards together. And I kind of like the Mike's idea. Maybe it's time to sit down and more than just talk, is maybe find an issue, a particular item that involves all of us, and put all of our minds together and thoughts and maybe try to